Kilby, Seany, and RJ fight to stay in the game. Well, two of them do. Now on Big Brother Cheesecake 7, Chocolate Heaven. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 7 Chocolate Heaven. It's day 7 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week Owen is the head of household. He nominated Kilby for eviction, and Michael was on the chopping block because of losing the Temptation competition. And Willy Wonka nominated RJ for eviction. But Tom won the Golden Power Veto in the Big Brother Reese's Pieces slot machine Golden Power Veto competition, chose to use it to save Michael, or as he likes to say Maggie, from the chopping block, forcing Owen to name a replacement nominee, and Owen selected Seany, which means tomorrow either Kilby, Seany, or RJ will be the first house guest evicted from the Big Brother Cheesecake house. Who will it be? You'll find out tomorrow. And what will their plea speeches be? We'll find out shortly. But first, house guest today is Tuesday, June the 7th, and it is the final day for the 3 remaining house guests to pay their $40 Canadian, $30 US entry fee in order to not be locked out of the next head of household and Golden Power Veto competition and all competitions thereafter. I've never had a season where 3 people came down to the last day. Dylan happened twice in season 2 and in All Stars. But yeah, it's 3 people. I will send individual reminders. So if you're not sure, somebody messaged me and said, am I one of the people that paid? I'm like, yeah, you paid immediately. But if you're not sure, I'm sending a message today in Diary Room to those 3 people, reminding them that 9 p.m. tonight is a deadline. Otherwise, they're locked out of HOH. And everybody else, your odds of winning HOH go way up because 3 people won't be playing. As for the campaign, so I will admit, since everybody knows it, it's been said in the house multiple times, that Kilby and RJ are really fighting to stay. Seany has been totally invisible. He has not responded to me since Friday, I believe. He's not responded to anybody, I believe. And I've noticed he's active on Facebook. He posts in other alumni chats and in his own org chat. So he's not dead. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I get he could be busy with, he hosts his own org called, I think, Seany's Next Top Model. And I get that, but I've, at one point, have played 6 orgs at once, or as I like to call it, the Gwen factor. And I've always been able to, at the very least, shove my head into a group chat and been like, hello, I'm here. So I think when Seany went on the block by Owen, the odds were in Seany's favor at first, and it seems to be sinking and sinking and sinking. And he has today, if that, to make it up, but I think Kilby and RJ have been really, not fighting, but like putting in the work to stay, and people are recognizing that. Of course, then there's always the flip side argument, which is if Seany's doing nothing and he's invisible, why don't we just, keep the dead body from Weekend at Bernie's in and evict somebody who might take us out later? There's that argument too, but it's also week 1, and do you really want to let, people slip and slide through week 1? So, house guests, before I forget, the voting is now open to evict Kilby, Seany, or RJ. You have until polls are open and will close at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. You must privately message me your vote, and this is very important. I say it every season, and every season somebody fucks it up. Steven fucked it up last season. You must cast your vote in the format, I vote to evict, name, or I will randomize your vote between the other 2 people. Once again, you must type in your DR to me, I vote to evict Andrew, for instance, or your vote is reversed. So you can't. This has been since season 1. but like, it's kind of like Jeopardy. I think that's where I got it from. Like, I like the I vote to evict thing. I got it from Jeopardy, where it always annoys me when people like answer and they're like, Abraham Lincoln! And they're like, oh, who is Abraham Lincoln? Like, get it together. And then, of course, in season 23 of Big Brother US, when Derek Fraser would be like, I e-vote Alyssa. Hi, Julie. I evict to vote. What the hell was that girl's name who had the really high voice? Who, like, did everything that Kylan told her to do? What the fuck? Was her name Brooke? Hi, I can picture her. Wow, that's embarrassing. Kylan, Bridget? No. Okay, hold on a second. Now I gotta find this out. Big Brother 23, like, it was good for a lot of reasons, but there was a lot of forgettable people, especially in the early stages of the game. It was probably Brooke or Bridget. Brittany. Oh, Sarah Beth. Oh God, is it Sarah or is it Beth? Just pick one. Anyway, yeah. So that's where that's what I mean by I vote to evict. You can't go, I vote so and so. Especially because if you just give me a name, now there's 3 nominees. But when there's 2 nominees, if you just give me a name, I don't know if you're pulling a topaz and voting to save somebody, or if you actually mean you're evicting that person. So that's another reason why I do it. But yeah, very important. Make sure you vote correctly. Almost every season has had of somebody vote wrong. I think seasons 4 and 5 were the only 2 seasons where it never happened. The other 4 seasons it did. Yeah. So... yeah, and the voting polls will close at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Brazil, as you know, has this hot boyfriend who she sent me photos of, and so now I'm obsessed with this man. And she's moving to Michigan, and she's like, we're only 3.5 hours away from Toronto. And I'm like, oh, that's a restraining order waiting to happen. But yeah, here are more pictures, 2 more pictures of Brazil's hot boyfriend. I mean, yes. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So, thank you for that, Brazil. You can keep those pictures coming. Tom used the Golden Power veto yesterday, or no, 2 days ago. Oh, yesterday, to save Michael. And a lot of the fans, the alumni watching, even myself included, thought, good for him for making a move. Owen didn't put Michael up. Michael went up because of the competition that he lost. And Michael was likely not going to be evicted week 1 when he's on the block weeks 2 and 3. So I think Tom made a very safe move, but also made a move and didn't just say, no, I'm not going to use it, because it's so boring when somebody doesn't use the veto. And he joins an interesting club, because in Big Brother Cheesecake, people are pretty ballsy week 1. Jeffrey, who was a non-nominee, took Charlene off the block. Season 3, Julian took Nicole off the block. And in Season 5, Rai took Rhonda off the block. So, and now Tom. So in the odd-numbered seasons, a non-nominee wins week 1 and takes somebody off. Kaitlyn won it last season. She was a nominee. So the veto has only not been used twice in week 1 in Big Brother Cheesecake history. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah, so I like that. Somebody asked me yesterday in Diary Room if they can barter with their wedges. So everybody has 3 wedges that they can use, add to the wheel by eating a cookie. And now, sorry, something just came to me. A reminder, when you're voting, all 3 of the nominees must receive at least 1 vote to evict. If they receive 0 votes to evict, they will get a fast forward, which they can use at any point up to and including the week of the final 6 to fast forward to the following week. So it's very important that you don't leave a nominee with 0 votes. And the reason why I did this was because it's annoying whenever there's 3 nominees, Big Brother 15 being a big one, where somebody was always, they're getting 0, like discounted immediately. I want it to be ideally close between all 3 of the nominees. Same goes for Final Tribal Council and Survivor, which I never liked the Final 3, and I can go on an hour-long speech as to why Final 3s are stupid, and how it's just because Jeff Probst is a sexist and was so butthurt that Terry lost in season 12 when he came in 3rd, when he was voted out 3rd, and so Jeff Probst was like, well, the strong man's got to win, so I'm going to make it a Final 3. But yeah, so where the hell was I going with this? Yeah, so there's always somebody who gets 0 votes. So back to the wedges. So somebody asked me, can I barter with my wedges? And I'm like, sure, what do I care? You each have one spot on the wheel that was your initial spot. That's guaranteed. If room ever opens for everybody to get a second spot, as we get down to fewer people, I'll give everybody a second spot. But if you want to barter with your 3 extra wedges that you're supposed to put on the wheel by eating a cookie and a video, go ahead. Barter away. I don't care. But if you are giving away your wedges, you must privately message me that you are doing it so I can keep track of who actually has what. And it will be made public in the stats who has how many wedges. So bear that in mind. Okay, so this season so far, it's day 7. And like last season, there has not been any drama. And the house guests even noticed that. The house guests were like, wow, we're all really getting along. There's 16 of us and we're getting along. And RJ's, I think, playing in another org where, like, within 10 minutes, everybody wanted to kill each other. And, yeah, it's unusual. Season 1 through 5 had a lot of drama week 1. I mean, all 5 of the first 5 seasons all had a lot of drama week 1. I won't get into the specifics, but Charlene had to deal with a lot of it. But there were other instances as well. So I think part of why there hasn't been drama week 1 is both last season and this season, I knew that I cast a really strong group of players. And it doesn't take an idiot to tell you... Is that the right saying? It doesn't... No, that's the opposite. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that if you're playing an 85-day game, to make waves and stir the pot and create drama week 1 when you've got 79 days to go or 78 days to go till the end, probably not a good idea. So that's probably why, since there's a lot of more game-savvy players this season and last season, why there hasn't been a lot of drama. I'm sure it's coming. And Willy Wonka's designed to create drama. So, yeah. Okay. So, but having said that, even though there's no drama yet, still a great season so far. No complaints from me. Everybody, just about everybody's playing hard, and so I'm really happy. And, yeah, hopefully the rest of the season continues on really well. So, before we get to the pleas from the house guests, and I'm going to say this now because I forgot, Seany did not submit a plea for to stay in the house, so I will just be ad-libbing his. RJ submitted a video. Now, normally, it's supposed to be a text to keep it equal amongst all 3 players, equal playing field. I mean, Kilby even mentioned after, like, well, so sorry, mine was a little bit more... homemade, or I can't remember the words he said. So normally, moving forward, the final pleas from the nominees are in text. In season 4, Megan did a video, and then I just paraphrased it in her voice, and she hated her voice, so she was mad at me. But yeah, it's always in text. Now, RJ did a video, and he put a lot of effort into it, and you could tell that there was emotion in his voice and that he really wanted to stay. So I am going to play RJ's video today, because he didn't know. But next week, if your plea for the veto being used on you, and your plea if you're a nominee on the eviction night, that has to be in text moving forward. Okay. Before we get to the pleas, it is time to get to the rules for the next Head of Household competition. Free from the threat of eviction, the Head of Household wins the perks of their private HOH bedroom, bathroom, a video from home, a fruit basket filled with chocolate-covered almonds, and the responsibility of nominating 2 of their fellow house guests for eviction. House guests, I will tell you that the next Head of Household competition is called... Oh, and they also... I'm forgetting a lot today. This season, since it's the most twisted season yet, the winner of this Head of Household competition will win Park Place and Boardwalk, the dark blue properties that will be featured in a future Monopoly-themed Golden Power Veto competition. Normally, Mediterranean and Baltic, the purple, shitty ones, come first, and I make my way more expensive. Like, each week will be a more expensive color set. This season, it's the most twisted season yet, so I thought, let's freshen it up and do it backwards. So if you win this week, you get Park Place and Boardwalk, and you're off to a good start. Because JoJo in Season 5 won Monopoly with just Park Place and Boardwalk. So, big prizes for the winner. Yeah. Owen is outgoing Head of Household. You're not eligible to compete. And Stephanie, you had a unfortunate penalty from the Lindor sampler. You got something bad. You got the disadvantage, frostbite. So you have a disadvantage in the next 3 competitions you play in. This will be the first of 3. And I will explain your disadvantage when I get to the rules. The competition is called Big Brother Appetizer Survey. And here's how it works. This competition is based on the appetizer surveys you filled in prior to the start of the season. I will post in the group chat 10 true or false questions about the results to the survey, because what I did was I combined everybody's scores and I gave the appetizers each an average. So I will be asking 10 true or false questions about the appetizers. You must, by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, privately message me your answers to all 10. Then tomorrow, I will be pulling numbers out of a hat from 1 to 10 and going essentially in random order. So number 6, number 1, number 2, for instance. The order of the questions doesn't really matter. What matters is that you get as many right as possible, because I will read a question. If you get it right, you stay in the game. If you get it wrong, you are eliminated, and the last house guest standing will become the new head of household. Stephanie, you have a disadvantage. If there is ever a question where everybody gets it right, or everybody gets it wrong, you are eliminated on that question. Also, the tiebreaker, there's never been a tie in this specific comp, but if it happens, in a tiebreaker, Stephanie, you automatically lose in a tiebreaker. Otherwise, for everybody else, if there's a tie at the end of 10 questions, which is not likely, but if it happens, whoever submitted their survey answers the fastest will become the new head of household. Okay, so that is the rules. Now it's time to get to the final plea speeches. So Kilby, Seany, and RJ, your house guests, are about to cast their votes to evict one of you from the Big Brother Cheesecake 7 house. And I will give you an opportunity now to make one brief statement. Kilby, you're up first. Yo, I just snorted coke off of a hooker's back. Whoa, it was hot. So my speech thing, yo, I know I was gonzo for 2 days, though, because I was on a trip. Oh boy, was I on a trip, alright. But I'm here now, I really like the folks I've talked to. If you can keep me in, that would be rad. Follow me on Be Real, Hey Kilby. It's like OnlyFans, only I don't shove hot dogs up my asshole. Oh. Did you know there's videos of Christine from Big Brother 16 pooping on someone? Man, I'm glad she got booed out of that house. If I do leave, y'all are still cool but rude for voting me out. Thanks, yo. Okay, thank you, Kilby. RJ, you're up next. Hello, I am RJPO, the underwater C-3PO that was catapulted into outer space, then played hockey on ice, and is now a chocolate fountain at a wedding. I have been nominated for eviction by Willy Wonka, and I will get my revenge. But for now, I want to stay. And here, since I am too busy recalibrating the chocolate sauce, since all of you licked it all off of me, there is fruit over there. You do not have to lick all the chocolate off of me. But while I am recalibrating, take a look at this video of me from 3,000 millenniums ago when I was a child and had a human voice.
My fellow Cheesecakians, I come to before you to ask for your vote to stay here in this house. Why am I asking for your vote to stay in this house? I'm asking for your vote to stay in this house as a friend, not as a competitor. I want to get to know each and every single one of you on a more personal level. The last few days, my work schedule has been chaotic. And over the next few days, my work schedule may continue to be chaotic as I am interviewing for a major position. However, during that time, I want to continue to build the relationships that we have began to build. I'm enjoying my time here in this house and the conversations that we have had. Now, each and every single one of you may ask, why is this crazy bitch up in this house? Well, I was here just to have a good time, and I want to get to know more people in more depth. So a vote for me to stay in the house is a vote for friendship. I love and adore each and every single one of you, and tonight I'm coming asking for your vote to stay here in the Cheesecake House. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, Miss Andrew Moonves. And shout out to Lawrence's house elves. Love you guys.
Thank you, house guests. Okay, well said, RJ. And finally, Seany, you are up next. Oh, hello, it's me, Seany, aka Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm the Terminator, and I'm going to terminate the competition, yeah. Did you know I was also in that movie True Lies with Tom Arnold? I absolutely loved the scene with the horsey in the elevator. I loved it. Then, afterwards, Jamie Lee Curtis. She was so hot, I went Jacob Holgard on her in the change room. Oh yeah, this is for sure. I also was on The Celebrity Apprentice for 1 season, but they didn't like me as Donald Trump. I think he's a big meanie. I was also governor of California. California is a great state, yes? They have lots of green cars and the gas is like $7 a gallon. It's great. Anyway, I want to make sure that you keep me so that I can keep terminating the competition. If you do not keep me, it is because you are all horrible people. Also, you should keep me because I have the largest popo of the 3 nominees. Kilby and RJ, they have tiny popo. So make sure you keep me, Seany, big popo. Wow. Kilby, Seany, or RJ, who will be the first house guest evicted from the Big Brother Cheesecake 7 house, lose their shot at the $700 cash prize, and get a tummy ache from eating too much chocolate? Find out tomorrow, and who will rise to power and become the new head of household. I'm Andrew Chefsick Moonves. Take care, and remember, silly wabbit, Twix up for kids. Good night.